Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. Fiduciary Wealth here, Matt Penfold and Paul Correa. You can see the smile on his face because Liverpool are top of the league at the football, so he's a happy man. But today we're going to be talking to you about the importance of trusted advice as an expat, either if you're moving or living outside of the UK. So really important, this, Paul. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, I think trusted advice is closely aligned to regulation. And there's markets which are highly regulated. The UK is one of them. Gibraltar is another one. In fact, the regulatory processes are pretty much aligned. But then you've got jurisdictions where the regulation is a bit more lax. And it's not unusual for large IFA practices based in different countries. Some even have their headquarters in Gibraltar, being operating in terms of using a model where IFAs are commission only IFAs. So it is very difficult to give impartial advice when your next meal depends on closing a deal. At the point of execution, you're already having to use all kinds of techniques to close a sale and to maximize the income that you produce for yourself in the form of commission, but also for the firm that then has to pay you. So how can you provide impartial, trusted advice when you have to act in your own self-interest? And that's where we're different, Matt. We don't employ commission-only IFAs because we believe in trusted advice. And even in Spain, the most reputable firms, their partners, operate with Spanish SAL companies, and they're not really even employed by the firm. They are self-employed. And that says a lot for the industry that we operate in. And we've always stuck to our principles and values of, giving good advice and taking care of the client. So for us, it's almost in our DNA. The advice has to be impartial. The advice has to be tailored to the needs of the client. It has to be holistic in nature, meaning we consider every single aspect of the individual rather than look at only at the initial requirement. We want to understand, the client's story and background much better than most other practices. So we ask more questions and we listen more than we talk, because there's nothing like asking smart questions and listening in to understand and getting under the client's skin and then being in a position to give best advice. And Matt, as well as I do, that long-term mutually beneficial human relationships is part of our DNA. It's what drives us every single day. And what's particularly interesting in terms of what we do and what is our point of differential, our USP, is that when we talk to prospective clients, they're not even clients of Fiduciary Wealth. We consider, as I said before, we're giving best advice the moment we first interact with a client. So we don't wait until they become an actual client of the firm to impart tailored, impartial, holistic advice that stands the test of time. We do it at the point in which we interact with the client. From the very first minute that we speak to that prospect, we're already thinking about what is in their best interests.
Yeah.
And that's what drives us, and that's what trusted advice is all about. So, if anyone is listening in today and they go into any of our websites, and we have three, we've got fiduciarywealth.gi, we've got gibraltarresidency.co.uk, we have financialplanningspain.com, and if you go to our, video testimonials or to our Trustpilot Testimonials, two separate things. One is writing, one is a video. You'll find that the those clients that leave their testimonials, whether it's in written form or in the form of a video that you can play, they all talk about the same thing, the emotional aspect and how caring and compassionate and kind we are, how we go the extra mile to give best advice, how we act in the best interest of the client. The messages are expressed differently because we're talking about different people, but the underlying message is the same.
Yeah.
Trusted
Yeah.
advice. And I think, Matt, I'm sure that you agree with me on this one. It gives us immense pride that most of the people who interact with us have a similar view, that it's a firm that they can trust. And because that's what we've been trying to do all along. And we know we lose business because human beings are emotional and not necessarily logical or rational. You look at psychology books, they're driven 80% by emotion, 20% by logic and rationale. And probably there's people who are better than us at playing the emotional card. But we sleep well at night, knowing that we're giving the best advice and we're not driven by commission, because no one is on commission only packages where they need to sell to you to put food on the table for the family. That's not how we operate. So a sense of pride, but a sense that we are on our mission is one to give value to the British expatriate community, and we sleep well at night knowing that that's what drives us, and nothing else. Our mission is very clear. We're
Yeah.
here to serve the British expatriate community, and the advice is always reliable, trusted, and one that normally stands the test of time.
No, and well, I know you feel the same, Paul, but we love our relationships with our clients. And for me, if I was in one of those commission only jobs and you know, once they onboard a client, they receive their commission, that relationship is no more really, because if you're a commission salesman and you have a choice between a new prospect or helping someone who's an existing client, they will go with the one who's going to pay them. It's a new one. And for me, I just couldn't operate in, I love those relationships we have with clients. I love meeting up with them when we can, or our regular Zoom or Teams or phone calls or whatever it is. And I think the kind of two things that stand apart from my point of view is there's a regulatory aspect of it. As you say, Paul, Gibraltar is aligned with the UK, and in the UK they made loads of strides to get rid of commission payments and etc. And sometimes I've spoke to people who are interested in working with us, and maybe they live in Portugal or Spain, and they say, well, why would I work with you guys? You're in Gibraltar. I can go, down the end of the road, and there's a nice fancy office, and go see your person. But okay, those companies are regulated in Spain, but I don't think the Spanish regulator is that interested in protecting expats. Let's be honest. I think they're more concerned about their own kind of banking system. So there's that side of it, the regulatory, but regardless of that, I think it's your own kind of individual values and the values of the company, and why we do what we do. And as you say, we can definitely sleep at night knowing that we're delivering that sort of service to people.
Well, you said about relationships being dead in the water after they've executed the sale, and that's true. But another thing individuals will find when they engage with companies like that is that they demand, before they take you on as a client, say, yeah, we'll take you on. They rip you off on price. They do not have transparent pricing, which we do. We operate on a UK model, and then they demand 3 to 5 referrals as a matter of course to take them on, which I find, yes, we want to get referral from new clients, absolutely, but to make it a condition of onboarding a client, almost a condition. Now give me 3 to 5 referrals. I find it so it goes so much against what we stand for, against our values. Of course, ask for a referral. You should,
Yeah.
but to ask for 3 to 5, because we know it's standard practice for some firms. Give me 3 or 5 names of people that require our service. We just started the relationship. How about giving us a testimonial for the way we've handled the onboarding, but not ask for clients just at
Yeah.
that point in time. Build some trust and some respect, and earn the respect of your client, and then maybe you can go back and ask for one. But so that's why we're different. Transparent pricing, and how we, even the little detail. But the devil is always in the detail, and I think we've got a different set of values.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it's easy for us to say this. I hope people who've watched our videos or spoken to us before can see we're genuine people. But as you say, Paul, if people want to have, they should have a look at our client testimonials. Read our Trustpilot, but those client testimonial videos are, I think you can really tell there's a variety of people that we've worked with and wanted to add their piece on how they've enjoyed the relationship. So we put those out there so people can make up their own mind and it's not dependent on just what we say.
And one other thing, if I may hasten to add, is that very often we onboard clients who have a very positive experience. But then when we ask them for a video testimonial, they come back and say, I'm sorry, but this is not my thing. I feel very uncomfortable, doing a video and being taped and having to speak to a camera. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I have the utmost respect for the firm and for you as advisors, but I just cannot put myself through this pain and give you a video testimonials. Otherwise, we would have a lot more. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's enough there to give you a feel for who we are and what we stand for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I guess that's our message today. Trusted advisor is very important. And we'd love to kind of build up that trust with you. I know it comes naturally and it takes some time, which is, why we want to speak to you initially. So for those, maybe you're already an expat, or you're thinking about becoming an expat from the UK, reach out to Paul and I or the company and let's see how we can help you out. Okay. Thank you, everybody. For
Thank
now,
you.
goodbye.